Welcome back to another episode of the Canon on the Boomer Bust channel. I'm your host Terry, and today doing a quick review of a non-comic book or superhero movie. I'm your host Terry, and today doing Richard Jewell, directed and written by Clint Eastwood. The story about, or based on the true story about the security guard that found the bomb in Olympics bombing. The Atlanta Olympic bombing in 1996, who was then sought after as a suspect by the FBI to possibly have placed that bomb there. And so I really enjoyed this movie. It really hit me. I mean, I think it was well directed, and to a point where there's some moments that definitely can hit you. But I think it hit me more so because of the content matter. I mean, what I'm finding is a lot of times when it's things dealing with the government or the legal system, specifically misuse and mistreatment of it, it really hits home, especially when the person is fighting against it. And so it hit me definitely, but I think it was just really well acted. I mean, Paul Walter Hauser stars as Richard Jewell and does an amazing job. And he, I first noticed him in I, Tonya. Hilarious. He was like the best friend that helped put together the whole thing. And he was hilarious in it. And he was pretty funny in Black Klansman, being a less likable character. But just, you really got a chance to see his acting chops in this movie, where it essentially is like a real life dramatic, what's his name? Paul Blart Mall Cop or whatever. And I know that sounds crazy, but that's what it was. Like, this guy was a victim of circumstance. He was a guy that really over respected the government and law enforcement to the point that's what he aspired to be, even though it was just not in the cards for him. But he wanted to keep proving it everywhere he went. And so when this happened and he started getting famous, people automatically assume like, obviously he did it because he was trying to, chase the fame and become a cop. And so he was a victim of circumstance when he actually didn't do it. So I will say that the movie swells. It swells very well. And the performance swells because Sam Rockwell does a great job in this too. I thought he was better than he was in 3 Billboards, but he's very overstated as a character. He's a, loud lawyer, and, it works well with Sam Rockwell. But Paul has to do, it's weird that his name's also Paul, but Paul Walter Hauser has to do a more understated build-up because Richard Jewell's not an out in front type of dude. Especially around all the fame and all the law enforcement, he gets a little anxious, a little, flustered. And so he's just not a boisterous person. And for a while, it's just like, okay, because they use some real footage of Richard Jewell in the movie while, on TV. And so you see like he's got a great beat on his character, looks like him. And for a while, you're just like, okay, he's just playing a type. But then it gets to a point where him and Sam Rockwell argue at the house. And that scene is where it hit me. I'm like, this performance is great because it was so understated. Like, he had to be so much more subtle because he's upset that his life is being turned upside down. He's upset that all these people are turning on him, that they're, watching his mom's house. Like, he thought he was a hero, and now everybody's turned on him. He's upset, but he doesn't express it the same way the other people do. And so people start to think that he's okay with it. And he finally comes out of his shell towards the end of the movie. And not only that, but there's this story of him becoming disillusioned with the whole system, with the government, with the law enforcement that he worshiped pretty much. And that's all he wanted to be. And then he saw how ugly it could actually get. And so the performance was, by the time you hit the climax, I was done, man. Like, he was amazing as Richard Jewell. And Sam Rockwell, like I said, was great. John Hamm, man, I didn't think I could dislike John Hamm, but he did a good job of being unlikable as the FBI agent. And so I believe that was Olivia Wilde too. I did not like her character. Just straight trashy. But overall, it was well paced. I thought there was a little bit that could have been cut out, could have been a little bit shorter, but I think it was well paced. I think the thing I like about it is that it gets pretty quick into the bombing. And I like movies that focus in on the story. They give you the bombing in real time, and then the rest of the movie is a reference back. So we have a reference point as an audience, and then we dig deep into, what happened in that scene. And I like that because there's some movies that give you a very wide story. They're trying to cover a lot, but they don't really get deep into any one part. And then there's some movies that give you a very narrow story, but they get really deep into it. And I thought this movie was very straightforward. This is the night. This is what happened. They give you a little bit of his backstory, but then everything kind of comes into play, and you really just keep re-examining what happened. And at times they make you question, did he actually do it? And so it was very well done. Very well done. Well shot. A lot of good performances. I think the writing was strong. I enjoyed myself. I was definitely moved, and I had a good time. So as far as a grade, I'm going to give it a 96. I'm going to give it an A. Just well executed overall. So I have to say that. But anyway, if you've seen Richard Jewell, go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. If you want to see it, let me know what you look forward to. Share it around, get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you for listening.